Well, hello my friends. Furtado here, the Rebel Turner. Back for a little while to do a quick turning. I shouldn't say it's a quick turning, but it's a turning nevertheless. Today's turning, I'm going to be doing this droop over bowl made out of fatwood. For those of you who don't know what fatwood is, it's a pine that has died and became saturated with resin and therefore preserving all the hot wood on it. Extremely dense. It's almost strictly resin on this piece of pine. Very fragile, very prone to chip-aways on the end grain pieces, so a little extra care. But the focus of this video, because I've done these quite a bit, is going to be on how to make this whole turning with just two basic tools. Done with my 5/8 Carter & Son bowl gouge. Why the Carter & Son? It's my favorite tool. But you can do it whatever bowl gouge you have in your possession. 5/8, ½ inch. And the thing behind it is really not for you to go out and do all your turning with one tool. But the logic behind it is that you don't need a lot of tools to enjoy yourself on the lathe. You can't sand it. So the finished cut you got is pretty much going to be the finished piece. No sanding on the bottom, no sanding really on the sides or on the inside. I tried, but this is what you get as soon as you start sanding. It gunks up right away, so you really don't do any cut. This was 120 grit that I passed, and it clogged up within 30 seconds. So therefore, what you see is the results from the gouge and the scraper. What a way to start with a piece of wood that's fatwood or firewood when it already has a burned area. Appropriate. Not intentional, just appropriate. Alright, time to flip it over. And there isn't much I can do with this. This cut looks really good. So, sanding or no sanding, at this point, probably not going to gain much at all. Because it will just gum off real quick on a sandpaper, and that's all you're going to get. So, we're going to leave that the way it is, and like I said, just flip it over. Okay, not going to be able to use the live sander because all my turning is going to be from the end. So all I'm going to do is going to drill that down. And I am going to bury the bit right up to this point right here. I don't need to mark it. I can see that. And one thing that I do quite a bit is I'll get it started with the tailstock locked up. But I would assist it going the rest of the way by just pushing it. Get it started with the way you see everybody do it. Locked in. Not this part, but for the crow to travel. Slow it down. It's locked in. Start it up. And as you're running out of coil, I help it. Push. Get rid of that stuff. It builds up inside. Starts building up heat, so be careful. And that is where I want it to be. I'm going to go in here. Hopefully I got room. And start clearing this up. And I'm going to leave it up to this area right now. Let that dry up a couple of minutes, be back and apply a couple of more coats. Okay, this has had a couple of coats of lacquer. I'm going to finish it off, flip it over, take the tenon out, and give it one final coat with it outside of the lathe. I think it looks really nice. I think it's a nice looking piece, and I'll see if I can display a light in here to show you guys how translucent this piece is. And something like this, if you can get it on your truck, even if it's on the outside wings. Let me show you what I'm doing here. Because I don't need that to be for a strength hold. I just need it to be a center hold. So on the outside part, depending on the opening size, you know, this is the actual jaws, and I would have to expand it way out, but bring it up over there against the back and bring it up, and it will hold it. Not putting a lot of pressure, but you can put a little bit of pressure. It's nothing but a mortise. Now this wood, like I said before, is very brittle. It's very prone to breaking on a cross grain, so you have to be careful. But that's steady enough and true that I can go in here and take the rest of this. So I'm going to bring the live center back in, and I'm going to use my bowl gouge pretty much all the way through. Give myself a little room, extending the quill out. That way I can get my tool rest back here. Even though it's a little low, it's underneath the quill, but it will give me the room and the angle to go in here without it binding up on anything. And I'll be able to cut this all the way through and remove the tailstock and actually finish the bottom. When I first started turning this, I said that I was going to be using two tools, and I could have done the tenon all with this, but my thinking was I was going to be using the parting tool and the bowl gouge. But a tool that I needed to come in here with for this type of turning was actually my scraper. So basically, what I did with the parting tool I could have done without it, and could have finished it off very well with this. But doing the whole job with a bowl gouge and a scraper is really all I needed here. Relieving some pressure here so I'm not relying on that and it's not going to split and I can see what's happening with the piece. Slow it down when you get down to the bottom. This is really the only part that I thought I was going to need the parting tool for. But mounting it up on the chuck the way I just did alleviated the need for that. It is really, really pretty piece, in my opinion. Literally saved from the fire. This whole half from here on over literally has been on fire. And it was put out either because it made contact with ground or whatever. I don't know what put out the fire on this thing, because this is a type of wood that will burn for days. It ignites very easy fire starter, and it burns for a very, very long time because it is dense. This void that was going through here, the decay, which is unusual for this type of wood because it doesn't decay, but it had a little bit of decay going through here, which was prominent, and it went down pretty much a long ways. I believe that it showed up even on the bottom, but I cut it off. It came on a slight angle, so it was all the way down to the base, all the way through where the fibers are going straight down. The piece overall, it's still a fabulous piece when you look at it, and that's what you're looking for, is the overall knot. Thanks again. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, hit the like button and share it with your friends. If you like it, they might like it too. And you know, that's how it helps me. I do these videos not in hopes that somebody's buying my pieces, or that I'm asking for donations in Patreon or anything like that, but I will tell you, I get a little bit from YouTube on the ads that run. So therefore, I have the option of deleting them, you know, not putting any ads. But it doesn't cost you anything. It's a free video. If I get a little bit, enough maybe to buy an occasional tool every once in a while, that comes out of my YouTube channel. I'm lucky in that sense that the YouTube has paid for itself, or it's helping me a little bit. So if you don't mind, put up with the ads I put only at the beginning. I don't stagger ads throughout the thing. And don't forget, it helps me a great deal if the ad is something that interests you, if you click on it. And really, that's how I make any sort of money on my channel, is any click ads. Somebody clicks on it, I get pennies on that. So therefore, you get a lot of pennies, and it adds up to a couple of dollars a day. At the end of the month, you know, it adds up to a little bit. Not here doing this for a profit. I'm here doing this because I enjoy doing this. I enjoy showing what can be done on a lathe. It's a passion that I got. It's a passion that I did not know existed. I've been passionate about a few things. I've been passionate about oil painting for a little while there. And then I discovered the lathe. This is no way to put this. I saw Mike Watt doing a goblet. First time I have ever seen a lathe being used. I shouldn't say that. When I was a kid, there was a town carpenter that had, I believe, a foot-driven lathe, and I used to go see him just for him to make me some spinning tops. I was at the top in my pocket. I was the top spin. And the game as a kid in the schoolyard, which was dirt schoolyard, very compact, dirt, no grass growing on the thing. That was our playground. So it was somewhat smooth, but we would do a spin-off with the tops, and the one that would spin for the longest would be the winner of that round. So the loser would have to put his top down as a sacrifice, and the goal was that you would take your top again, spin it, and you had to strike the other opponent's top. It was a big achievement if you struck dead on a swing and you made some serious damage to their tops. It was a destruction game. So if you didn't hit it, you could go to it literally, and while the top was spinning, flick it up to your hand while it was still spinning, and come up and sideswipe the opponent's top. If you did that, you stood on the plate. If by the time you got to it, your top was toppled over and stopped, your top went down. So anyway, back to the story. 4 years ago, I was doing some painting, and I was distraught, shoulder problems, and I could not do any more painting for a while. And I was flipping through YouTube, and a video popped up. Not that I was looking for wood turning videos, because I had really never taken any interest or saw anybody doing wood turning, but a wood turning video popped up amongst the other things that I was looking at, and it was Mike Walt turning a long stem goblet. It's like, oh my God. So I came to the shop before knowing anything about lathes, and the first thing is, I'm going to build me a lathe. And I started going through the process. I started actually figuring out what tools I had in the shop that were going to be incorporated into a lathe. And I realized, okay, I'm going to need bearings, I'm going to need this, I'm going to need that. I need to figure out how to do this, how to do that. And long story short, is I decided, you know, with all the money I'm spending, 20 bucks on the, you know, just the the bearings, or another $10 in metal for this, or a shaft, or rails. I decided, let me see what's available, and I came across a lathe at Habitat for Humanity, about $100 with a full set of tools. It was the lathe that I used for a long period of time, which was an Atlas. Nice lathe. With that, I got the Atlas, came to the shop, and started getting beat up, and catches and things flying off, and it's like, oh my God, but persistence. I would make a mistake and go see, what am I doing wrong? And, I'd come back and make the same mistake over again. Point is, you're not going to learn by watching me. You're going to learn by constantly going back to your lathe, realize what you have done wrong, make those adjustments, and remember what you did wrong. Because at some point, you don't even have to think about how you're going to approach it and what's going to be the result of your approach. You're going to go to your lathe and you're going to apply that tool and know exactly what's going to happen, how those shavings are going to fly, which direction they're going to fly, how aggressive you're being, or how light you're being. So that comes with experience and a little bit of time. So don't get discouraged. Go to your lathe, have a blast. Not telling you be adventurous and go turn this as the first thing, but I know that at some time you want to grow and develop. So watch the techniques on what's being done once you feel comfortable enough with what you're doing. Once you know what that tool is going to do, once you make contact with the wood. That's when you go out. That's when you say, hey, I can do that. Maybe it's a little complex, but bottom line is, go to the lathe and have fun. Be a little adventurous, always be safe. Always stand out of the line of fire. Wear your face shield. Not saying that all the time I'm wearing my face shield because the speeds that I'm running, sometimes it's slow, and if I put it on it's because I'm getting flakes flying on my face and I'm not blinking my eyes, or relying on my glasses to protect me from flying debris. Not flying debris that's going to make a hole in my head. It's a totally different thing. And when I say I'm the rebel, I'm the rebel not because I endanger myself, but because I know what is the outcome. If I'm looking at a piece and I know that it has weird grain, that pattern that could possibly fly off, you know I'm wearing something to protect myself. And I'm slowing down the lathe dramatically. Don't get me wrong, not that I haven't made those mistakes. And everybody's going to have a flyaway, and everybody's going to have a close encounter. And I've had a couple. When I first started, and I was turning a large platter, I was just going for the final touch, and the thing just blew up. I mean, literally blew up. And I was lucky at that time, because even if I was wearing a face shield, and the speed that I was running, if that thing came towards me, even if it didn't hit me on the face, which was protected, but if it hit me on the chest or anywhere else in my body, it could have caused some serious damage. Motto is, wear it, but always be safe. Always be aware of your standing. Always be aware of the potential dangers with the particular piece that you're turning. And the rest is a matter of knowing how you're approaching, so you don't enhance the possibility or give it a bigger possibility of the piece flying off, breaking off. There are always, generally, I shouldn't say always, generally there's signs in the wood that let you know whether it's a safe piece or not safe piece. I've discussed that a few times in the past on what I look for. So, what do I look for? I look for any inclusions that seem to go deep into the wood grain. I look for wood grain that's too uniform and maybe a slight discoloration in one area. means some water, some decay has happened in that area. If I see that, I know that that piece is not stable for any period of time. And it could look perfectly solid, no gap, and you're spinning that, and all of a sudden it just comes off on that joint. So I look, even though something might have checks or cracks and all that stuff, I look at it as the fibers. If they are interlinked into each other, not continuous, I see that as almost like butterfly clips inside that wood, and I feel safe that that's not going to fly away. Now if I see a clear separation all the way along the grain of the wood without any interlacing, I also know that that's not a stable or safe piece to put on. So examine your wood closely, and always be also listening for sound. You're turning and you're getting that nice solid bassy grind sound, you know, you're okay. As soon as you start hearing something hollow, a little bit more like a drum, you know, be aware something is different with your piece of wood. Stop your lathe, take a close look at all the what's going on and see what's happening, because that could literally maybe save you, or save you from some serious damage. Anyway, the rambling turner is back at it again, and this was today's turning. Thanks again.